All right, what is up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. My name is Tony Reiner, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking to y'all about how I stay disciplined. So, when you're juggling different tasks in different areas of your life, like business, fitness, relationships, and work, it can get hard to be disciplined in every aspect of your life. So, I've had to develop certain routines to make sure I'm staying on my path and making 1% progress in every area of my life so that I can ultimately build my dream life. And these are some things that I've done to help me keep track of everything and really optimize for my best performance. And so the first thing that I do is I start with a clear vision. So I have 30-year goals that are my big rocks I'm trying to do, ultimately trying to build a legacy. That's where my 30-year goals are. And then I break it down to 10-year goals after that, what I want to do each decade to get there, 5-year goals, and then yearly goals. So each January or so, I make my yearly goals, the big rocks that I want to do. I actually have them on the back side of this dry erase board where I have my yearly goals and I look at them each day, write them down in my journal to make sure I'm staying on the path and just have it top of mind. But the big thing is just having that clear vision so that you know whatever you're doing this year, whatever you're doing this day is actually going to lead you to your ultimate destination that you want to get to. And constantly course correcting if you're getting off path because it's important. Number two is going to be time blocking and scheduling. I'm pretty diligent about my days. I like to plan them the night before, and I'll actually go through and put the exact time that I'm going to do certain tasks. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes I don't hit those times. Even today, I didn't hit the times of what I needed to do certain tasks, but that's all right. The whole goal is to have a time dedicated towards it and just get as close as you can to that. So when I set my list for each day, I have a GSD list, which is just a get shit done list. And I put my tasks that I need to get done for that day or that next day because I do it at night when I make my plan. And then I'll go through and I'll actually highlight the top priority tasks I need to get done that day. Because if you familiar with the Pareto principle, it's 80% of your tasks, or sorry, 20% of your tasks get 80% of the results that you're looking for, and 80% of your tasks get 20% of the results that you're looking for. So I try to focus on my highest priority tasks because that's where you're going to make the most money and most impact. And so, for instance, if I'm at work, I make my list for work. The top task are going to be prospecting. I make sure to actually take that top task and I'll go and block it on my calendar. So I have a 2-hour block that's just for prospecting. And if any of my coworkers or any clients put a time on my calendar for that time, I said no, I cannot meet at this time. I have a meeting already scheduled. I'll need to do it at a different time. And I actually have areas on my calendar that are for free time or for client calls because I just want to have that routine and that dedicated schedule. Because if I let clients control my calendar and they can just put times whenever they want, and I'll be able to accommodate. You're letting your calendar run you rather than you running your calendar. So I make sure to have blocks on my calendar every single day. Even if I have nothing scheduled for that day, I make sure to find something to do each day that's going to get me closer to my goals. Next is early mornings, getting a head start. One of the things that I used to do in college was I was pretty bad at waking up early. I had a couple 8 a.m.s, so I would wake up early for those. But I'd be studying super late till 2 a.m. some nights to just cram for a test and stuff like that. And then I'd be waking up at 7:30, just sprinting out of bed, running to class, and then just kind of flying by the seat of my pants every single day. And it wasn't until I got out of school and graduated and got my first job where I tried to do the same thing. And I remember I was so zapped by about 10 o'clock at work that I tried to go to the gym after work and I had no energy to go to the gym. And so for a week or so, I'd skip the gym and I was like, man, I can't be doing this. I have to go to the gym. And so I started waking up early, which meant I had to start going to sleep earlier. And started going to the gym at 5 a.m. And I noticed I had so much more energy throughout the day once I got used to the routine. And I got the gym done first thing in the morning. So there wasn't a need after work where I'm already zapped of energy and don't feel like going to the gym. It's the first thing I do that day. It wakes me up, gives me the energy, and then I'm ready to crush the day. So that's what I started doing, was waking up early. And now I actually do 4 a.m. is when I wake up and I do this morning ritual. that if you ever read the book Miracle Morning, it's basically that ritual where I do 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of visualization, 10 minutes affirmations, 10 minutes journaling, 10 minutes of reading, and then 10 minutes of exercise. Granted, the 10 minutes of exercise, I just roll into my gym routine, which is right after my Miracle Morning routine. And I do that every single day. And then, it just gives me so much energy for the rest of the day. I get my personal development first thing in the morning when nobody else is awake, nobody's bothering you. It's honestly been a game changer for me, so I highly recommend trying it out. And then next is going to be consistency over perfection. So I don't perfect everything every single day by any means. The thing is, I want to just move those rocks every single day. I might take a shortcut here or there, but ultimately I'm staying consistent. I'm staying diligent. Whatever my goals are, I'm making progress towards them. It's not always going to be perfect. I'm not always going to have a perfect rep when I'm at the gym, but I stay consistent. I go to the gym every single day that I can, 5 days a week and stuff. So, and then next is going to be workouts as stress relief. When you wake up first thing in the morning, sometimes I just have a lot of stress from the night before, from the day of work before, what's ahead, what meetings I have. So going to the gym is really my time to reset, and it honestly relieves so much stress for me. Getting my workout done, listening to a good podcast or audiobook while I'm at the gym, going into the sauna, relaxing, and then starting my day after getting the hardest task done. It's honestly been such a stress relief for me. And then I've noticed how fitness and productivity is just super, super connected and super linked. If I skip the gym, I'm actually notice how much lower my productivity levels are. But the days I go to the gym, I just have so much more energy to get after it. I'm focused. I'm locked in. My brain isn't clogged. I feel good about myself, so I'm more confident going into my work, which is important in sales. So I just highly recommend uh, fitness for everybody. That was really the start of me for going down this whole path of self-development. And the next is prioritizing recovery. Now, I'm not saying taking lots of rest days. I take 2 rest days per week, but recovery would be anything from getting massages, chiropractor, uh, sauna, cold plunges, eating good food, refueling your body. These are all parts of recovery. Nourishing your body in any way that you can, and then after work, if your brain's fried from looking at screens all day and talking to people, recovery is going to be different for you. But for me, it's reading or journaling, writing my thoughts down from the day so that I can recover get all my thoughts out of my head and just relax. So that's how I like to think about recovery. And then accountability and support systems, especially starting out, it's super tough to hold yourself accountable. When I first started going to the gym, it was hard for me to do it all by myself and get that motor going. So I had a gym partner that I would go with each morning to kind of keep me on the same path. And that helped me a ton. And then now I work out by myself. So it's nice because I can hold myself accountable. When I was first starting out, it's super, super helpful to have somebody else to support you along the way as you're building that habit. And then eventually, if you want to do it by yourself, you can. And then support systems too. So family and friends that, care about your goals and want to help you get to them. That's really valuable as well. And a way to get that is to be that for other people as well. Hold other people accountable and then support other people in their goals. And they're going to want to support you on yours as well. And then 9 is create routines, not ruts. Once you make it a habit and you stick to it and you kind of get in the routine of it, you'll notice you feel off when you don't get those things done. And just don't let yourself continue to stay in that rut. You got to find a way to get yourself out and make improvement to get out of it, because it will happen. You'll get in a rut, you'll get in a slump. Happens to everybody. I see it in sales all the time. I've had it myself where I just get in a rut because if I'm not constantly prospecting, if I don't make a routine of prospecting every single day, eventually you're going to get to a point where, oh wait, my pipeline, I have nothing in my pipeline. I have no deals coming in. I got to go hard on prospecting to get more things in my pipeline. Versus if you just made a routine of every single day, I make 30 calls from 10 to 12 or from 10 to 11 a.m., which isn't even that much, honestly, 30 calls. But a week it's 150 calls. Over a month that's 600 cold calls, and over a year, whatever 600 times 12 is, 9,600, something like that. I don't know. Uh, that's how much outreach you've done over the year. Versus people that just do it when they absolutely have to, and then the rest of the time they just chill. I'm not gonna get anywhere. And then it's just a thing you do. You don't take it as a rejection of, oh, I got 0 meetings set during this dial session. Crap, I'm a terrible salesperson. Like, no, I it's a routine. I did my 30 calls. Now I can move on to the task that I enjoy. Because let's be honest, nobody enjoys cold calling. Maybe 1 out of 100 people enjoy cold calling. It's really just a thing you have to do to generate leads and then do the actual selling that you enjoy doing. And you might actually enjoy it. You might actually find some joy in it. I enjoy kind of overcoming objections, and it kind of feels like I'm playing some verbal karate. It's kind of cool. So just finding a way to enjoy it and make it a routine, and then you'll feel off when you don't do it. So anyways, and the next would be celebrate small wins. So that's kind of a part of it. Is I celebrate when I make those 30 dials, because it's a tough thing to do. A lot of people won't do it, and I'm just staying consistent. So I like to celebrate consistency over huge achievements, because especially in sales, you don't get a deal, you don't close a deal every single day unless you're in a super super high volume industry. I mean, you might sell 1 a month, and some months you might not sell any units or any deals. And so you have to celebrate those small wins so that you don't just hate yourself every day that you don't have a deal closed won. Because when you lose those deals, which you will, you're not going to have any sort of confidence, and it's going to be hard to get back out there and keep growing. So celebrate the small wins, celebrate the process, the inputs, whatever it is that you're doing. Like, I went to the gym today. Maybe I didn't have the best workout of my life, but I went to the gym today. That's a win. Okay, I did a walk. Yeah, sure, I didn't run a marathon yet, but I'm making progress. So celebrating progress along the way rather than just those big milestones of, oh, I ran a marathon, because otherwise you're delaying so much gratification that and so much dopamine that you're not going to be motivated to keep going. And the thing with dopamine too, part of that is you want to reward yourself on the small steps, because dopamine is actually a motivating hormone. It's not a. We often get it confused with serotonin, which dopamine is really a motivator. So you give yourself a little reward for making progress. Dopamine is released after you accomplish, something great, or you have sex, or other rewarding behaviors. You eat food, that it releases some dopamine. So you want to find something that gives you some dopamine along the way. So say you make 10 cold calls, order yourself a little piece of chocolate. That'll give you some more dopamine, and you'll feel more motivated to keep going if it's something that you enjoy, as long as it's something that you want. If it's a punishment, then it's the exact opposite. But yeah, so say you you know, make cold calls and you do a dance or something that releases dopamine for you, whatever. Highly recommend doing that. Celebrate those small wins, because those ultimately lead to the big successes. So anyways, that's kind of how I stay disciplined. Please leave a comment down below how you stay disciplined, or what things you want to do over the coming year to become more disciplined. And yeah, that's kind of it for today's video. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all next week. See y'all.